And it's a beautiful evening. Like once the sun goes down, it is crazy.
Yeah,
how hot,
the heat.
how the
radiates.
heat still like comes up. But besides
in
that,
the little street, it's even worse because it's coming from every side. You know, here at least it's in
it's
open
like
air.
it's like a torture device.
Yeah.
It's like specially designed
Yeah.
to get the fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I feel once the sun comes down, I feel a little bit more like alive.
Absolutely.
Like I don't know what that is. Like
Yeah.
I feel back in my head
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm like a little bit more conscious.
Yeah.
I've like increased in level of consciousness. I don't know what that is, but like with the heat, like even when I was talking to you, like at first, I'm like, hey, I just felt
it's like hibernation, but in reverse.
yeah, hibernating
Life
with the heat.
Kicks back in.
Yeah. With like the normal temperature.
Yeah.
That's so. Yeah, it's such a weird feeling. I'm not very used to it.
Buonasera.
Buonasera.
It's like the way of living here. I mean, everything closes at 1 p.m. and then reopens at 5. I mean, it was very surprising for me because, well, in France, from the morning to 6 in the evening, everything's open and then it closes.
It's the same in the States.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's like in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Do they have a name for it? Is it called a siesta?
La siesta, it's a Spanish word.
Sí.
Here it's called la penichella.
La piniquela.
Penichella.
The pinnacle?
No, I don't know what it means.
But it seems like a
it's like
translation
something
to pinnacle.
maybe has to do with penitence, penance.
Penance?
Yeah, penichella.
Piniquela. La piniquela.
Sì.
It's like a 3-4 hour period.
La penichella is that you sleep in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it can be 20 minutes, 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's what's
But
called
in terms of
penichella.
like shops are closed.
I don't know if there's a name. It's just the rhythm of life here.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. Like, I definitely like taking a nap in the afternoon when
like
it's hot.
school finishes now. It has finished on Friday, yesterday.
Yeah.
In France, it keeps on until the end of the month, even
Really?
early July. Yeah.
Okay. No, in the States, it's the same as here. This is the last week of school. Like, I know, like, my sister's
whole
still
country?
in high school.
Even in the south.
You know, I'm not sure. It definitely varies. Well, the reason it varies is because some schools have, like, a winter break, others don't. But I think that cuts from the end of summer break. So summer break starts earlier. But we have 2 holidays. Well, it's Memorial Day. Okay, Memorial Day is a couple weeks before the end of school. And then usually school starts Labor Day, which is like the 1st of September, essentially.
Oh.
Or like
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
It's not the 1st of May.
No, that's Memorial Day.
Oh.
I believe. Something like that. Memorial Day is probably like in the middle of May. I don't know. Labor Day is just a day everyone gets off, like for laborers, for workers.
Yeah. It's I mean, in all Europe, it's the 1st of May.
Yeah, so in America, so I know because my birthday is August 27th. So my birthday usually is like the week before school started, always.
Yeah.
And then like school would start on a Tuesday because of Labor Day. But I think now, like again, depending on the school, depending on like what breaks people want, like if they want 2 weeks in February off, then they take that from the end of summer break. But I always remember school ending like either like the first week of June or halfway through June, and it depended on how many snow days we got. So I think we got like 6 or 7 snow days, and then beyond that it took. So if there were like 10 snow days, then there would be 4 days that are added on.
Okay.
To the end of the year.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was always stupid, this is just coming back to me, it's funny, is that sometimes there were like half days. So like there's a difference between how many hours that we needed in school and how many days we needed in school. And so it'd be like, at the end of the year, we need to do like 3 half days or something. And it's like, well, why don't we just do a day and then a half day?
Yeah.
And it was because they needed to put 3 days in, but they didn't need the hours for it. Like, fucking stupid bureaucracy.
Anyway.
I don't know. I don't know why. You're saying, yeah, school got out. It's just the normal rhythm. But in France, it's not like that. In France, you go to the end of June.
Yeah.
What's it like? And for most Europe.
So it starts early September. I'm from the 11th of September, and I think usually I was already in school for a week. So yeah, early September. But I think now school can start even late August, depending what's the first Monday or the last Monday of August.
Yeah. So.
But then we have plenty of
Same.
holidays. We have in November, and I think it's always 2 weeks. So 2 weeks in November, 2 weeks for Christmas, 2 weeks in February, 2 weeks for Easter, and then
2
the
weeks.
summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. Like.
Yeah, every month and a half or 2 months, 2 weeks of holiday.
Wow.
But,
Yeah. That's cool.
According to me, it's too much. I mean, I was happy at the time, but seeing
I feel like
Italian
I feel like
rhythm-
you like school. You're a kid that liked school, maybe.
Yeah. But I also like to be on holidays. I mean,
Who doesn't?
every 2 months, 2 weeks of holidays, fantastic. Well, I used to be sick or break a foot, a leg, always on holidays, or just before. So I was
That
stuck
was
at
just
home.
your luck.
Yeah,
Your standard.
all the time. That was terrible.
That's so funny. I had some friends like that who, like, when they were at my place, they would always get injured.
Yeah.
Just like I don't know. I don't know what that is. If that's some like generational curse or some past life repentance.
Just once I broke an ankle. It was in winter. I missed the sidewalk because it was covered with snow. So it was. I thought, eventually something happens to me and it's school time. I can stay at home for a week. Or my mother brought me to school on. How was it called? You know the thing you ride on the snow, sitting on it?
Sled.
Yeah. She brought me to school with the plaster on my leg.
Just pulling you on a sled.
Yeah.
You're holding your
It was
backpack.
ridiculous.
Pulled you out of sled.
Yeah. No, you
my
go to
God.
school.
Oh my God. You didn't, because you didn't. I'm sure you had crutches or something like
Yeah, but
that.
it was.
Too snowy.
Yeah.
Like once you got
And
inside,
it
you
was
used
a year
crutches.
we had like 40 centimeters of snow. It was the only time in my life I saw so much snow, and so she brought me to school. On the slider?
Sled.
Sled.
And then the verb is sledding.
Yeah,
So we went sledding.
yeah.
Oh my God. That's like one of the stories, like one of the typical stories, or not typical, but like a trite story. Like, oh, when back in my day, when I went to school, we had to go uphill both ways in the freezing cold. Well, back in my day, when I broke my leg, I went to school in a sled. Like, I don't know, it's just one of those.
And she used to tell me that when she was young and she went to school, at the time in winter, we used to have more than 1 meter of snow. And she remembers going to school, walking in corridors opened in the snow on the sidewalks, and she couldn't see above the snow. She was, I don't know.
This is in France?
Yeah.
You get that much snow?
We used to in the 60s.
Ciao, Pupa.
Ciao.
Ciao, Maren. Ciao, Hans.
Lorena is not there up till now. I wanted to say hello to you. and
Hello,
to you as well.
hello.
Yes.
Well, not tomorrow.
Are you gonna get Lorena to come out here? What's going on?
She said to me that she wanted to take a shower and then she's getting
Yes.
her
Oh,
umbrella.
okay, cool.
We're gonna see
Great.
Lorena.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Love it.
Yeah, we'll tell her where she missed all the tourists.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was just a
Hello,
swarm of
yeah,
people.
Yeah. But she said yesterday was good.
Yesterday, really?
Well, I don't. She said yesterday?
Because we talked yesterday.
I don't know.
I
She was
asked
just,
her.
you
No.
know, I was sitting there and she was outside and said that she was with the kids now in the afternoon, you know, with Marino. And she's always doing something there with the kids. And then she just said, yesterday. So I thought that means good.
Okay.
I'm sure that means good.
Yes, it does. I'm sure as well. I know that this means good.
But it was a little windy yesterday, no?
Yesterday, well, the day before it was windy, not yesterday.
Buonasera.
Yesterday it was not windy.
No, it wasn't.
It was the day before.
In the marina, it was a bit
Yeah,
windy.
okay,
That's
no,
why I
we-
didn't come.
So, yeah, it's always sometimes it's very windy up here, and when you're going down to the marina, no wind at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
So I always check on my weather app.
But so
Yeah,
I
me
heard,
too, but
I
I
heard
think
that the
it's a
weather.
bad one.
I heard that there wasn't like a local. I don't know what it's called. A local like weather thing here. That it's
No.
like 20 kilometers away, and that they just sort of triangulate it.
No, I don't think so. There's a lot of stuff missing for Calabria, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not very local.
No, it's
you're
not
not gonna
very
you're not gonna get
accurate.
the nice details between the
No.
temperature of Badolato Borgo and
No.
Badolato Marina.
But it's really sometimes that it's here it's windy down, it's not windy or
Yeah,
the other way
yeah.
around, you know. Sometimes it's windy everywhere, yes.
And when it's supposed to rain, actually the rain falls on the other shore and the mountains, and
Yeah.
when it arrives here, it's not raining anymore.
Yeah,
So
very often. Huh?
Well,
uh,
the good thing about being close to the mountains is you have the flow of water, though. Like you
Yeah.
have the resource of the water
Yeah,
coming down.
yeah.
They have the dam. That's the reservoir. Like
Yeah.
that's so essential. Because if it was just a flat plain, I mean, it'd be like the Sahara here. Like,
yeah, like Puglia.
is that how Puglia is?
Yeah.
There's no
I
mountains
mean,
there?
No, it's completely flat. Completely flat. And they have a lot of water problem there
Where?
in Puglia.
Ah, yeah, okay. Puglia is completely flat. I've never
Yeah.
been to Puglia. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, yeah, okay. So we are lucky here because of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
mountains.
And you know, today I learned that Calabria, Corsica, and Sardinia were part of southwest of France, like 100 million years ago.
Pangaea. So the two islands, Corsica and Sardinia,
Yeah,
those are the
they
islands, right?
split and came here.
And then the islands just decided to hang around.
Yeah. So actually, these mountains are not the same than in the north of Italy. Actually, these mountains
Whoa.
are part of the Alps.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Mr. History Buff.
Corsica,
Yeah.
Sardinia, and Calabria were like 100 million years ago. Where?
Close to Barcelona.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Close to Barcelona. That part of Spain. Northeast of Spain.
What?
Yeah.
So then,
And then, so there was the Mediterranean Sea started to open and then closed back. And that was when the Alps came out. And the Alps where they are now, and then south of France until south of Spain, the Sierra Nevada. And then the ocean opened again, and then brought these pieces of Spain towards Italy, and Calabria came.
Calabria then touched Italy?
Yeah.
But it wasn't part of the landmass of Italy already.
No,
But it seems like it is.
it's not.
but that is 100 million years ago or something like that. So world
Yeah.
looked totally different from how it looks now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything was slow, of course. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like. Wow.
Yeah, I saw a documentary today
Ah,
about
yeah,
that.
wow, that's interesting. It's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Well,
I did not
So-
know that, so I learned something new today. Very good, Olivier.
So here
Thank
you can find the same rocks you find in Sardinia, Corsica, and northeast of Spain.
That's mind blowing. It's really interesting to me, like how perfect the Mediterranean is for civilization, though. Like it's its own like sea. It's a good climate. There's so many. It's not just like a circle.
Yeah.
There's so many inlets. I mean, there's Greece with a million fucking islands everywhere. Italy obviously has.
Yeah.
It's sticking out, and then there's just so much surface area.
Yeah.
Of the Mediterranean. It's really interesting to think about.
And you have volcanoes in it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's how you have all the little islands, right? I'm assuming?
No.
Well, we've got
I'm making a
one
total
corner
assumption
right
there.
next to Neapel, the Vesuv.
Where?
Not right next to
Yeah.
Napoli.
Yeah, but
Vesuvio, and then you've
Oh,
got
Vesuvio.
Stromboli,
Oh, yeah.
and then you've got Etna on Sicily.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and Stromboli is not the only one. You have like 5 or 6
On these
the
islands,
little
yeah,
islands. Yeah. That's a trip you could make, a day trip.
Come va? Video.
Ma parliamo italiano? Io sì.
Cioè, che si vuole fare una foto? La possiamo fare una foto?
Ma certo.
No, perché c'era la cosa, la
Sì, sì, vai, non abbiamo cominciato. Chiacchieriamo.
Ken e Barbie. Però spostati che devo fare un video top.
Questo faccio io.
Quanto costano queste cosine più o meno?
Allora, vanno da una barchetta o 2 a 10 ci sono, ma più o meno da 15 fino a 90 le lampade. Ma poi le cose piccole da 15 a 25, 30.
No, io volevo qualcosa che si potesse appendere.
Le fiorelline? O gli angioletti?
No, volevo una cosa marittima.
Oh, good.
Qualcosa di
I'll give you. Do you want to hold this?
che si può appendere.
You can just. Here, you can just grab it right here.
So
Perfect.
he just
And you can just hold it
he
like
just
here.
made an interview with him, and I didn't disturb you.
Oh, you didn't disturb. This is the like the camera's covered right now, but this is the essence of what I'm recording. The show is called The Free-Minded Frequency, and the idea here is we're just like I just want to create a space that just is inviting of all perspectives, and as I'm traveling here, I sort of want to encapsulate my journeys a little bit, or yeah, I guess just share a little bit about the places that I'm at, and I think to the people that I meet. So unfortunately, I can't do this in English, or I can't do this in Italian because I'm still learning Italian. But the people that I meet in English, I love to record these conversations with. So
and then you put them somewhere? Or?
yeah. So I'm just posting them on YouTube. Nothing,
Okay.
nothing too serious. I mean, I just am gonna get into the habit of doing this because from what I understand, it takes podcasts 2 years minimum to get any sort of traction. So I'm just trying to put the time in, just trying to like record some stuff, and it'll be nice for myself then to be able to go back and explore the journeys that I've been on a little bit, you know.
And right now you work away with Chris and Mario, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to record a conversation with them when my time's up here. But no, I love talking with everyone. But remind me, I'm super forgetful. What was your name again?
We never got introduced. I don't know your name either.
Okay, that's
So my name is Maren.
Maren.
Maren. Yes.
Maren with
Maren.
that
It's
German.
like Karen with an M in front instead of a K.
Maren with a wait. Say that again.
It's like Karen.
Karen with
but
an M.
With an M, not
Maren.
with a K. Maren.
Maren.
Well, and I am German, so in
Maren.
German, yes, you would say Maren, but you can say Maren or whatever.
Maren.
And what is your name?
Cooper.
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 Da 20
Maren.
quale hai? Che
And
me
so
lo
how
voglio
long you gonna
comprare?
stay
Ci
there?
sono 20.
So I'm staying till the end of June.
Oh yeah.
Are we on your way?
Se mi fai lo sconto di quello, me lo prendo.
I think it's all good.
Si può.
Yeah, so I'm staying till the end of June, but no, I love Calabria. I was here last fall. I was only here for like a week and a half. I was sleeping in a rental car I got from Rome because I was looking I heard about the €1 house initiative that was happening, and so I was sort of traveling around to some villages that were proposed to do it. And I figured out that the bureaucracy of most of these places is very,
It is
very slow.
Well, and it's very strict about these €1 houses as well.
Yeah, and so like the villages I talked about, they're like, oh yes, this is something that we're starting to do, because there's waves of it. So it's like I only talked to 2 villages when I was here, and then I was actually like in a state like I was. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So here is your microphone.
What
again.
did I didn't see it? What did you sell?
Fish.
Fish, a little fish thing.
With a fish on it.
Nice.
Very nice.
But no,
Yeah, it was a
I'll
nice
just
one.
finish up what I was saying.
Sorry.
No, it's this is perfect. This is lovely. But no, first time I was in Calabria, I was sleeping in my car, sleeping in a rental car.
So it's not your first time?
No.
Oh.
But I didn't make it down this far. And like one of the villages I went to, they were really like trying to intimidate me and scare me and shit. So I was like,
Yeah. Where was it?
Bisignano.
Bisignano.
Do you know Cosenza?
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
at the
30
coast
minutes,
there.
30 minutes
Yeah.
north. It's right in the middle of Calabria. So it's not like on the coast. It wasn't touristy at all.
Yeah, okay.
They'd never seen an American before. And I was just in my rental car and I was just going around trying to talk to people because that's how I interact. Like that's how I try to travel. And I ran into a drug dealer, like right here in the piazza, like right, and he was like checking me for like a wire like this, right? He was like checking me for this, like what the hell? And it was great. He was like, we became really close because he was scared of me, I was scared of him, and so he was like, oh, fratelli, you know?
Yeah.
And so it was an interesting thing. I was driving him around, you know, it was really interesting. But I'm like, I just felt way in over my head and I couldn't really think straight. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go out and then figure out a better plan. So then that's why when I came back here, I decided I want to do a woof. I want to like have a base to stay at. So that way I sort of like feel a little bit more grounded. But now I feel like I went the other way a little bit. I mean, it's great because everything I do, no matter what,
Ciao Filippo!
I learned something. So this has been nice because like I've just had some more time to just sort of sit with myself and sort of reflect on some things, right? But I sort of went the other direction where, you know, I have a nice place to stay, or you know, I have a good, safe place to stay, but I'm sort of restricted to this area because I don't have a car, right? So
Yeah.
it's sort of that balance, but then also I'm trying to figure out the ratio, and I don't know, like in my head I'm very analytical. I want to be super perfect about it, and it's not going to be that way. It's going to flow, whatever. But in my head I'm like, oh, I want to figure out like these towns. I want to learn more about them. So I want to travel to different towns, but then I'm also like, oh no, it's good that I'm staying in Badolato for a month and a half. You know, it'd be nice if I could stay here for many months because actually by staying here for some period, I actually get to feel what it's like to actually live here versus just being a tourist. And I hate being labeled with tourist. I'd rather be called a traveler because I want to actually be in with the place. I don't just want to skim over the surface and be like, oh, look, Eiffel Tower, you know, whatever, you know, whatever the fuck, right? The
But then if you want,
tourist.
for 50 euros, you can rent a car for maybe 2 days and travel around for 2 days in a weekend.
Yeah. No, exactly. But then the thing is, like, I enjoy these weekends, right? I enjoy these weekends here, like getting to talk to you, right? Meeting new people. And like, you know, like I've sort of got some people that I know, like Prolidi, like Rosa, and I'm forgetting the names. I don't know. It's just like I get it. You know, like the point of like being in like a small town, like people have their routines, and you can sort of go out and you can sort of meet with people.
Yeah, and you come on the piazza and you meet everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sort of this. It's this nice. Pace. There's a nice slow pace to everything, and it takes some time. Like it doesn't happen, you know. You can't just come here for a day or for even a week. You know, it's like oh, okay, this is my 3rd week here. I'm starting to feel that a little bit. I was feeling it a little bit in my 2nd week, but it's not something that's so instant. And So I don't know. It's just trying to figure that out. Like, okay, but yes, then there's like, oh yeah, just rent a car for this, and then there's the easy thing. I just got to get out of my head for that type of shit. But in the end, it's all a bonus, or it's all gain. It's all knowledge. Sure. And I know for certain I want to keep coming back to Italy and keep, hopefully every time learning more of the language and just being able to get more out of locals, or not get more, but connect more with local people.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the same in Greece, I don't know, but or in Arabic countries around Mediterranean. The rhythm of life is very adapted to a human being. I mean, you live a full life here in Italy. Mm-hmm. It's not the same in other parts of the world or crowded countries.
So illuminate me there. I mean, you're from France, so how is it different? Because I mean, I think like an American connotation of like, it's like we have this idea, a European, right? And we lump all Europeans sort of into one box just because we're unknowing about it. But what's the really difference in lifestyle?
There's Northern Europe, Middle Europe, and Southern Europe, and you're from the Middle Europe.
Yes.
Yeah. And a lot of people coming here are from Northern Europe, like Scandinavia. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about them, but then they're not very warm people. You could
they're
say.
Not from a very warm place, right?
So I'm renting my apartment. I'm renting my amazing 4-story house from a Stockholm woman who gave me a very good deal.
Have you got this Victoria house?
Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, it's not Calabria.
you know the one person. I said Stockholm, and you know the one person.
Then you said 4 stories, and I've been there because I had a look at it.
Okay.
But it is not Calabria, this house. This is Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's IKEA, and it is all very
IKEA?
done.
Interesting. Is
Really,
there an IKEA
is.
around
And
here?
if you're inside
No,
the house, it's
the closer
beautiful.
is in Sicily or in Naples.
Okay, not even
So
that.
they brought everything.
Well,
That's
it was owned by a
amazing.
Swiss man.
Yeah.
A Swiss man owned it
With
before.
a lot of money, I suppose, because the huge window. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
It's
really
like a
beautiful.
10,000 euro sliding door.
Yeah, with a beautiful view, and that is the main room with the kitchen and living room as well, and that's really nice. And the rest, I think, is just it has got 2 sleeping rooms, but they are so huge. They are too big, I think.
Yeah.
I don't, they are just too huge.
I haven't left the top floor.
That's rare.
I don't use the other floors.
I would not either. I wouldn't either, to tell you the truth. I had a look at it.
So he lives in a castle. Oh.
So you got this from this Victoria house.
Yeah. So anyway, speaking about what
Yeah,
you said,
well-
I flew into Copenhagen because I had a friend who had an apartment in Copenhagen. He wasn't there, so I stayed in Copenhagen a week. Then I went up to Stockholm, had dinner with 6 people. Victoria was one of the people.
Oh, really?
At the dinner that I was at, I said,
That's how you got here.
I said, oh, I'm going to Vienna and to blah, 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 and then I'll go to Italy. She says, I have a place in Italy. And so I ended up
Badolato,
just
where
total, absolute accident. I had no idea where this place was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Never heard of
And
it.
do you like it?
And so you're interested in wines, right?
Pardon?
You're interested in wines, right? You're
Interested in everything. It's just,
No, I thought
just-
because of living in Napa Valley, the
Yeah.
wine production there.
I'm just,
No, because
I'm out
I was just about to say that Calabria in antiquity was called Enotria, which means the land of the wine.
yeah. Well,
And wine
Land of the
started
wine.
here.
I enjoy going to places that I know nothing about.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Algeria. I know nothing about Algeria. The only thing I know about Algeria is that their street signs have Greek, Arabic, and French on the same sign. And I think I'm going to buy some of these signs when I'm going to find some signs and I'm going to ship them to wherever I live because they're so.
Hold up. Idiot geographic
These-
question.
Be very careful
Where's
in
Algeria?
Algeria. Huh? Be very careful there.
Northern Africa.
Okay,
The
that's what I
very
thought.
north of Africa on the.
It's
Right
re-
next to Morocco, between Morocco and Tunisia.
Okay, yeah.
So
Mark.
only like 30 minutes
Algeria is
like
not easy.
south of here.
I mean, they hate the French people because we
Yeah,
colonized
because
them
of the-
and
yeah.
never apologized enough. We should apologize every year, every day. Yeah.
Wait, and so they hate
but-
the French
and then
people?
it's not
So that's
it's
the
not a
next-
democracy.
the next
It's
block is
it's
Algeria?
terrible.
Wait, but
Maybe.
Yeah, so
you're saying be careful?
Yeah,
I
be
wanna
careful
hear more
there.
about this.
Yeah. Well, it's-
Leave your contacts to your consulate there and say where you are and if you disappear, because I wouldn't go there.
Really?
No, I'd rather go in Morocco.
I'll say I'm Canadian.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll care.
You're white. I mean,
Oh.
you're not Arabic.
Okay. Well,
You're,
sometimes they call it a white.
Well, half
white
Canadians
scale.
are French anyways, so
Yeah,
it
I
wouldn't
know.
help you.
So what?
Yeah, a lot of Canadians are French.
Yeah.
Well, it will
mean,
not
it's-
help
yeah.
you in Algeria if you are French.
Well, I
No,
find-
that's what I'm saying. It's
Have
a
you-
bad thing.
Have you found that a lot of people in Europe are very nationalistic and love and a lot of Trump loving? There's a lot of Trump loving
Oh, really?
Europeans.
I don't know people who love
I haven't
Whoa.
met any.
I don't know them.
Almost everybody I meet is like.
No, but I don't know where
They
you've
love
been
the
and with
idea.
the- No. Well, we've got right wings in every country
Yeah.
very much nowadays, and that's really a problem. That's true. But I mean, if I look at the people,
No, I mean we have extremists
Nobody
in
likes
our
Trump.
countries as
We
well.
all think that he is really, I mean, he's really dangerous.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth.
I thought you were rolling a
I
joint.
don't- Maybe
Should
I'm
be.
like I'm emanating this right wing nationalism from. I walk in and it's like everybody I'm meeting is like, oh, Trump. Oh, yeah."
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't know these people.
No.
And I'm living here since 64 years. Well, in between I lived somewhere else, but
So are you from Strasbourg?
no, I'm from Berlin. Well,
From Berlin.
originally from Hamburg, but I'm living in.
I'm gonna pass this
Oh wait,
down there.
I'm sorry. You said you were on the French.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
Germany. Are you from Strasbourg?
No, 100 kilometers south.
Okay.
So
Who is
there's
it for?
Lorena, but I thought she wants to make a bancarella.
She's famous.
Now I'm gonna need another microphone.
Sorry?
I'm gonna need another one for Lorena or something. I gotta figure this out.
Tunisia is nice.
I have one. You get to
Bro,
I have
you want it?
I'm
put one on.
I have to make my own video of me. So many people here. America.
Argentina, Italian, both now.
So Argentinian,
So,
German,
good business yesterday.
two Americans.
Good, but better than.
Ciao. Come va?
Bene.
Bene?
À la
What is
French.
this? I've never had that happen to me, by the way.
It's an all expression.
I know it's an old expression, but usually isn't it a gender thing?
Better than
Yeah,
the other day,
yeah, you do it
that I was
To a
the
female.
girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
market here.
I feel so
and
pretty.
I
Thank
did
you.
It's just you shouldn't kiss or make a kiss. Just incline your head
There wasn't.
to a
There
lady.
weren't people really.
Yeah.
So then what's the
Therefore,
kiss?
yeah, it was good. So you're coming now
Yes.
with your things as well.
Because in France we like to kiss, so we added the kiss.
But
But-
yes,
You put it on here?
yes, maybe.
Fair enough. Lorena, are you setting up your thing?
Yes.
Are you setting up?
Not with the all. The
No. Why are you gonna set
No,
up?
because today is.
Oh, it's Saturday.
You're making a.
Yeah, literally. I'll have to.
Okay.
Hold up.
Imagine tu vai Are you going to make an interview?
Well, you just got the microphone. No. We are just talking.
We're just babbling.
We are just talking.
So wait, did Lorena?
We are just talking, that's all. So I'll be back in August.
You're leaving?
I rented this place from last September till this mid of June because now Pino is getting his. I rented for because for such a long period for a very good price. I just paid 300 a month, which is really
Good.
I've got a very nice apartment, but high season is coming and I have to leave because.
He wants to rent it at a higher price.
Cool.
Yeah,
Right.
She's setting up over there.
So I'm
Yeah.
going back now, but in August I will be back, but only for 2 weeks, and then I will be back in fall.
Okay. And then
I have to
you'll
do
stay.
business in Berlin, and when I
Okay. Yeah. Maybe you'll be as hot as here in Berlin.
yeah, could be. But I've got a really outside of Berlin a little. It's called Dacia, you know. A little. I've got a garden with a hut where you can sleep right next to the lake. So if it's getting too warm in the
Yeah.
city, I go there.
Good.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
I had a look at Victoria's house because she wants to sell it, you know.
Right.
So I had a look at a few houses, and one of them was Victoria's house. And it's really, I just love this living room area. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
But I think it's really not Calabria, you know. When
What's
you're
the
inside the
problem?
house, it is really very Swedish.
It's an extremely modern
Okay.
aesthetic. It's
Yeah. Very simplistic.
well, it's
Modern.
got all
it's
it's
just
got all
that it-
Europe. It's got all like
It's very good renovated, but you know, not the Calabrian style, which is total, you know, it is very much Northern Europe style renovated.
And you know, I was saying they're not very warm, and also one of their features is when they move or go on holiday south in France or anywhere, they bring their own food.
God, that's so disgusting.
I
I
mean,
honestly
they
think
bring-
that's so disgusting.
They bring everything.
I have to criticize that. That is so disgusting.
well, it depends on where you are. You're in some places where you can't trust
But
the
you
food
know,
quality.
Like if you're having
not here.
Asian people,
Yeah,
it's different.
You know, like I did. I worked a few times in Vietnam, and I took care of young Vietnamese when they were in Germany taking an apprenticeship. They would not eat our food as well. It isn't very
Yeah, but that's
often.
a
it is-
completely
For
different
example-
culture. So
Yeah, but they just don't like it, you know.
If you're traveling to America and you bring your own food, that's great. That's awesome. Please do,
Yeah,
because
but-
you'll get less cancer. I'm assuming.
yeah, surely.
But I mean, here, like, what's wrong with the food here?
I
don't
love
know.
it, and I really love it, and I always like to eat what I get in the other countries, you know.
That's part
Even
of it.
if
I
it's
mean,
part of-
unusual. I worked in Yemen
I mean,
for
if you
a few
want-
years, and the food there is really different,
Yeah.
I loved it, you know. That's not me, but I think that's some people are like this. They
Yeah,
have to
but
bring their.
I mean, if they want to eat the smoked fish in cans, yeah, you can find them here. But then there are other things to try. I mean, but they bring water, they bring milk.
They bring water.
Yeah,
They bring water.
yeah.
They fly in a plane. with
Eventually, they
water.
have to buy some here after
They
a few
buy
weeks.
water. But it comes from the mountains.
It's
Yeah,
funny
but-
that you said that because I criticized my Swedish friend's
Uh-huh.
water. I said, "Can I drink the water out of the tap?"
Uh-huh.
I do I wash my nose with salt water every day, and I said I need to boil the water. He said, "Oh, you can just use the." I said, "No, you can't just use the tap water to wash your sign because you could get an infection
Yeah,
in
yeah.
your brain." And he's like, "No, we drink it. It's totally safe." And I'm like, "I still have to boil it." He became very offended.
Really? Wait, hold up.
Well, I
Pause.
don't know.
I-
If the water comes from spring water in the mountain, I would drink it because
That's-
I'm taking my
that's- it
water
comes
at the
from Java.
fountain down there.
No, like from the from the fountains that are flowing. Yeah,
I
it's
come
good
up every
water.
But you don't want like things. going
Okay,
into
so
your brain.
pause, Ro.
Yeah,
I need to understand
yeah.
this because I've cleaned my nose many a times with tap water.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like water bumps. You know what I'm talking about? Like a little water bump. Not okay.
Because the pipes and the pipes taking the water to your house contain bacteria that your stomach will kill. But when you're washing your sinuses, that water's
It could
going
give you a
directly
sinus
into your
infection.
brain. No, it can give you a brain infection
What the fuck?
and kill you.
Did you know about this?
No,
Did you
I'm
know
never
about this?
washing my nose.
You've never done a water bump?
Never.
You've never had to clean your nose? Have you
No.
ever had to clean your nose?
I do it every day. Twice a day.
What are you putting in your nose?
I mean, salt water and boiled hygienic.
Well,
I at least
well,
boil it.
well, what are you cleaning out of your nose?
But you use a syringe or?
No. I just wash it. It's a water bottle. It's a
Gotcha.
specially designed water bottle, and I just flush salt water through my sinuses.
Gotcha.
When you can.
And it just flows.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
goes
yeah.
in one side and out the other.
Oh, I've done it where it goes out my mouth, like,
But she
and it gets all the shit out. For me, it's been helpful in clearing certain powders. You know,
Well, I mean,
it's a good way to clear the system.
if you gargle with salt water and you flush your sinuses, you will not get sick. Any kind of bacteria that's going to enter your body, most of the time it's going to come through
Through your
you're gonna
nose
breathe
or
it in,
your
it's going to get
mouth?
stuck in your throat or in your sinuses. So if you
Well, your eyes
yeah.
or ears, eyes, ears, or nose, I think are the most common.
I haven't been sick in 13 years. I haven't had a cold in 13 years.
And you've just done this every day for 13 years?
Not for 13, maybe like 4.
Okay. So what for this other period of time though? Like, I mean, you're taking supplements, or what's your gig? I don't know if I believe in supplements necessarily, but I know a lot of people do.
I do take supplements. I take like a complex. I take a B complex.
Sure.
That has a variety of, well, a B complex has niacin in it, which is good for your liver.
Yeah.
For
Oh, I
balancing your
I
liver.
could have passed it to you. You should have asked me.
they are going to bring some to eat or drink.
So, a lot of people take statins for their heart statin.
Okay.
If you take niacin, you don't need to take heart statin.
Oh, okay, cool.
E il pollo sono io.
Oh shit.
I had open heart surgery 5 months ago.
Damn.
I had mitral valve regurgitation surgery. They went in, corrected my heart with Teflon and a big C-clamp to recorrect the size of my heart, my mitral valve part.
Oh, that shit's fucking scary, man. Fuck.
But I have the inner, I want to punch the little wall every day now. Like before I didn't know what this feeling was. I didn't know how.
I'm sorry. I wonder if they know the words of this. Do you think they know?
No.
Parle inglese?
Well, already this evening, which is good.
Eh?
You already sold something.
Yeah,
So funny.
eventually.
I'm sorry. I just think
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah, good.
Has to be more, yes.
Yeah,
sure, but
yeah.
Oh.
It's a start.
least
Turned
it
it down.
was a good
Crank
start.
it.
Yeah.
Crank it up.
I like the
Crank it
strap.
up. Okay, whatever. But okay, so wow, that's crazy.
So that's one reason I took this trip. Is I was like, never again am I going to focus on work.
Damn. And are you financially in a position where you can do that?
I don't have to work, but I'm not retired. I mean, I never wanted. I'm 51 years old, so I mean, I honestly don't.
I have
believe
to
in
work,
having-
but I don't.
I have to work, but I don't.
No.
Wait,
Yeah, but it's
like
it's
to do
not
this.
work. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going.
I have
in
to work, but I don't. Wait, I want to unpack that. Wait, can you unpack that for me? That's a little. It's a paradox.
I mean, I should work to earn money, but that's my solution to it.
It's art.
I think everybody's.
Yeah, but
I think
it's
everybody
not-
has a different mind for solving their life problems. Some people are emotionally driven by working and doing what they love, and so they don't even consider what they do as work.
Yeah, but we are very few like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually it's
Well, most
imposed
peop-
to you. You can't even choose the kind of work you want to do.
Well, I think most
love this.
people, I think everything's emotionally driven, right? But I think most people are driven by the fear of not having money, and then they get stuck in the system of paying for rent, paying car payment, you know, all the expenses that living within regular society demand. And then, of course, the competition with I have this TV, or, you know, the consumerism aspect. You got Netflix and blah, 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 blah. And everything's, you know, a subscription model at this point, but it doesn't even matter because our products are made to last, 2 years, 5 years maybe. And so it's just constantly buying more. So if you don't have this paycheck that's coming in every 2 weeks, every week, then you're dead. And people fear that, right?
You asked if I'm financially able to do this kind of stuff. I have 2 cats, I have a bed, I have a box of books, and a place to stay. That's all I need.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I prioritize. My pets are my number one thing. I spend more on my pets and my pets' insurance than I do myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, traveling.
Yeah. They're with their cat godmom right now, so they're in Atlanta. They're being taken care of, eating some bougie cat food. And
Nice.
they're very expensive right now when I'm not there.
But,
Yeah.
man, I sort of want to circle back to this because I love that this is sort of growing into what it was. But it started, I wanted to talk with you specifically about, and I mean, I guess this isn't very specific. These are 2 very broad things, and we can record as many of these as long as I'm here. Like, I'd love to just keep doing this. Like, that's great. But sort of your story, your journey, how you ended up in Badolato, and then also your artistic journey, how you ended up making these bouquets, like, isn't that what you were saying that to me? These like bouquets, these like stick bouquets, and just this different like where you're finding these pieces of wood and then you're sort of sourcing from all over, right? Like, I think you said you got some like lampshades from, you know, from France, and then you like look and you're like, oh, if I go to the France Amazon versus the Italian Amazon, then this little metal thing, and so it's so interesting to listen to you talk about, you know, how you source all the little pieces, and I don't know, I just think it's interesting, like I guess we'll start there, like how did you start doing this? Like, what was the start? Ciao.
Where you come from?
Michigan.
Mexico.
No. United States?
Yeah?
Yeah, but Michigan.
Oh, vabbè, United States, ok, ho
Yeah.
capito.
Yeah.
E il paese no?
Say
Come
it
si
ag-
chiama?
Cooper.
Cooper.
Sì. E come si chiama?
Ah, your name Cooper?
Yes, what's your name?
Lori.
Lori. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Lori.
You live in Badolato?
I'm staying here for right now.
An
Yeah.
holiday?
I don't know if I would call it holiday. I work in the winter and I'm traveling now.
You work here?
Yeah, well, I'm volunteering at a farm here, so I'm learning.
Capisco poco, I speak slowly English.
Okay.
He's
I'm,
volunteering, fa il volontario in una azienda agricola a Badolato.
I'm learning, sto
Ah,
imparando.
praticamente sì, ho capito che si va in giro, pure io volevo farlo, ma la schiena non me lo permette. Loro lavorano e si fanno le vacanze gratis.
Sì.
Sì,
E poi
ho
gira
un'amica-
l'Europa così.
Sì, lo so, perché ho un'amica in Sicilia che arrivano tutti da lei, lavorano, parlano,
Sì.
ballano, fanno hanno di tutto e di più e loro si fanno le vacanze
Sì.
gratis.
Così si godono la vita.
Va bene, vabbè, giovane.
Sì.
Magari io.
20. 20.
20, capito, 20 anni. Anch'io li ho avuti 20 anni.
Pure io.
Anch'io li ho avuti 20 anni.
Sì.
E ste cose chi le fa invece?
Io?
Tu?
Sì, ma ti ricordi l'anno scorso ero nel negozietto di Mimmo? Ti ho preso in foto
vero.
sulla scala con lui.
Vero,
Ero
eri
io,
tu.
sì.
E quest'anno non lo fa il negozio?
No, perché non lo può aprire, non ha la patenta. E da quando siamo Borgo dei Borghi ci sono questi controlli, i carabinieri che vengono. Quindi quest'anno faccio la bancarella.
Io pure facevo le bancarelle.
Davvero?
Vendevo la mia bigiotteria.
Ah, io ho lavorato in bigiotteria in Francia, fine
No, io
anni
avevo uno
90.
studio fotografico e quello che non si vendeva allo studio fotografico mi facevo la bancarella assoverato ed eliminavo tutto quello che
Sì.
rimaneva.
E all'epoca non si pagava così
Che
tanto.
pagavi?
Sì, perché
I can take
oggi.
that.
Cosa?
It's a simple
I'm
click.
still fixed on the microphone.
Perfect.
No, perché oggi.
Prego.
So what did you think about, you looked at Victoria?
E questa azienda dove sta lui è a Badolato?
Sì, è uno spagnolo, Mario, di fronte in questa direzione.
E là che caldo sto muretto.
Sì, c'era il sole.
Mamma mia, no.
It's hot.
Troppo
Caldo?
Ho caldo, troppo caldo.
Still, it's cooling down. It's a little bit colder now.
Very cold.
Very hot.
Cold. No, come si dice?
Caldo.
Hot.
Hot, warm, hot.
Cold.
It's too hot though. It's too
No,
hot to say.
aspetta, cold
Cold
è
e freddo.
Sì,
Hot.
cold e freddo.
Hot
Caldo.
is,
Hot. Sì.
caldo.
Capisco.
Hot.
Sì.
No,
Capisco.
hot. Vedi qua che sono
Hot, hot,
l'inglese
hot.
è come lo parlano in America
Eh
è
sì,
in un modo, in
sì.
Inghilterra in un altro. I have my English very very sciancato.
Sciancato, come si dice?
Yes.
Che significa?
I don't know what it means. Well, I understand
come si
it.
può dire sciancato?
Sciancato.
No good, sciancato. Gherbitato.
È un po' un caos.
My English not
Hocus
very
pocus.
good.
It's a
because I
mess,
forgot.
more or less.
Scincato.
I don't remember many
Scincato.
palabras.
Palabra
Words,
è
parole.
spagnolo. Parola è
Sì.
italiano. Word. Words.
Facciamo
Word
una
up.
lingua franca con tutte le lingue
Tu
qui a
devi vedere quando
Badolato.
vado in Spagna, che imparo le parole o in inglese o in spagnolo e gli racconto pure le barzellette. Da come vivo uno è strampaliglio, ma proprio il cervello proprio capito. Se ne va un po' per i
Sì.
fatti suoi e allora inizia a raccontare barzellette, mi diverto così.
Sì.
E loro capiscono, perché poi lo imparo bene, no? Le parole che devo
Sì.
dire quelle sono.
Because even me,
Sì.
I come all the way from the bottom.
And if you have got
Quindi tu sei di Soverato?
what you can do there,
Sì.
which is really good, you can put it down.
Tu invece
Io sono francese, però ci vivo qui da 6 anni.
da 6 anni che sei
Sì,
a Badolato?
sì, 6 anni e una
D'estate e
settimana più o meno.
d'inverno?
Sì.
Everything installed.
E
Sì,
d'inverno che fai?
Ha raccolto i legnetti sulle spiagge.
Ah,
So then you don't have to cook.
Sì.
Wait, what do you do in the winter?
I'm
Gathering stuff?
gathering the wood on the beaches.
eh sì, vai al mare, raccogli i legnetti e fai tutte queste opere
Sì,
d'arte,
sì.
bravo.
Però gli ultimi 3 anni c'è stato pochissimo legno sulle spiagge. Sì, pure
E come
lato tirenico di solito ce n'è molto di più,
Infatti,
però
quando arrivano le mareggiate ne
sì.
arrivano tante.
Volevo salutarla. È andata lì, credo che sia andata a casa, oppure forse voleva tornare, non ha capito che stava
It's busy tonight.
yeah,
It's like
it's Saturday night.
it's like a different energy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the summer is starting
Yeah,
to
yeah.
ramp up.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's nice.
In summer it's full of people and kids playing.
Esatto, perché sono stanca quindi è bene adesso andare in caffè.
Yeah, it's very different.
Grazie mille, ciao.
Luis,
crazy.
me la fai una foto nella palla di ferro?
But
Yeah, when I was 20, so that was in 1990, I already left home, my parents' home for 2 years, because as soon as I got my 18th birthday, I got rid of school. I went with a bunch of friends, among them an English girl, and we went in Scotland for 6 months. And then we came back, and I went for almost a year in southern France, Saint-Tropez. Maybe you know Saint-Tropez, Saint-Tropez. You know Brigitte
I'm not
Bardot?
familiar with France.
Brigitte Bardot, you know Brigitte Bardot?
Bridget Bardot.
Yeah. Brigitte Bardot, Bardot. No, it's a French actress from the 50s, 60s.
Gotcha.
Very famous.
Gotcha.
Blonde hair, very sexy.
Gotcha. Like a Marilyn Monroe type.
Yeah, she was scandalous at the time.
Gotcha.
She was a very bad actress, but she was so sexy. And, well,
And she was fucking all the right directors, I'm sure.
yeah, surely. And she was living there in Saint-Tropez, so it became a hotspot for VIP, and so I made a summer season there. And afterwards I went to Paris, and I decided to finish school, and so I went back to my parents for a year, and then I started studying archaeology in Strasbourg. And after 3 years I went in Paris. I've almost finished my studies there. I never presented my thesis.
I don't want to interrupt you. Can you see the camera, or is the pole in your way?
Oh, it's in my way.
Okay. That was the one thing.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But
And yeah, from afterwards I started, so studying in university.
ooh, they cutting it close. Oh my God. They came in.
Ma si gira di là? Si gira a destra?
Sì, sai, sì,
Eh.
uscita è per là.
Oh.
È senso unico?
Let's see. Let's see if they take anything out.
Ciao. Tranquilla.
These tourists.
Ciao, ci vediamo.
Because you can't drive. I mean, if you drive that way, or is it a one-way street, or is it?
Yeah, it is one way. You can go. I mean, it's not full of people and cars right now, so yeah. But I mean,
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
for someone coming from Northern Europe, yeah, they get disoriented and.
Well, it's funny because that's what you had to do a couple weeks ago when there was the barrier there.
Yeah.
It was almost like they knew.
Yeah. Anyway.
But you were studying archaeology. I think that's.
Yeah, I loved it, and eventually, after 5-7 years of study, I realized I don't want only to be a brain, and already I was decided that I would be a teacher in university, because that's the only thing you can become studying archaeology, and hoping to find money to open a dig somewhere in the world. And anyway, that was out of the question for me, because I hated students actually. I mean, when I was a student, I found them stupid, and well, I was 2 years older than them because I stopped school when I was 18. I traveled a bit of the world, and I lived already something, so I didn't feel like them. So I realized that just using my brain wasn't enough for me. Being a scholar, scientific, archaeology, I wanted to do more with something with my hands. And I realized a bit too late that I should have studied to restoration of the things you find on the dig. You restore them.
Okay.
But it would have taken me at least, I think, 4 years of study. So I decided to stop there. And I started to work with my hands, making jewelry with a friend I had in Paris. I worked that for 3 years, and then I became a set designer for fashion, magazines, advertisement, and that was wonderful because, well, it was a life completely different than any other life. I mean, the schedules were. There were schedules or not, and then you had to find things and build things and use your imagination, and well, it was very creative, and I loved it. But then after the crisis of 2008 or something, it became difficult to work. Sometimes you were asked to pay to work and not get paid.
You had to pay.
Yeah, I mean,
work.
I was set designer, so I had to bring pieces of furniture, fabrics, objects, and they wouldn't pay for
compensation.
that. Yeah, without being paid and without paying for that. So at the time, it was.
Your job turned into a hobby, essentially.
Not immediately. So at the time it was already 18 years I was living in Paris, and well, the set designer's life was very frenetic. I mean, a day of work could last 20 hours, and it was very exhausting. And so... Ciao, Aras. So with my boyfriend we decided to leave Paris. Actually, we went on a weekend in Normandy, and it was wonderful. We could buy fresh seafood at a quarter of the price you would find in Paris. And then on the way back, we stopped in a farm, wanted to buy potatoes from the farmer, and well, we wanted to bring like, I don't know, 5 kilograms of potatoes or maybe 10, and the guy said, well, the smallest quantity I can sell you is 20 or 25 kilograms. So
it's a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, a lot. It was, yeah, like a big bag of potatoes.
And maybe in a year you could, or a couple months. A couple months, yeah.
3-4 months.
Yeah, you'll take care of
Yeah,
it with a bunch of people.
Potatoes every day, every recipe possible with potatoes I made.
Make a lot of shit with potatoes.
So we asked for the price, and it was like 3 euros for. I remember it was
For
22 cents the kilo. So we thought, well, why bother paying hundreds of euros for a flat, for bad food, even from the markets?
In Paris.
Yeah. So we decided to leave Paris, and
well, and I'll stop you there. So you were in Paris for, you said how long?
18 years.
18 years. Did you like the Parisian lifestyle? I know it's different from a lot of things.
From 22 to 40 I was in Paris, so yeah. When I was younger, I loved it. I mean, the nightlife, I mean, it was a life that wasn't possible to find in a smaller city in France.
Would you roll me one?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So yeah, I liked it a lot, but after 18 years clubbing, meeting people that eventually was difficult to really have a connection and even have a real friendship. I mean, I met hundreds of people, and at the end, there's maybe two people I'm still in contact with, you know. So it was
Not real lasting friendships.
Yeah.
Just very superficial.
yeah, you know, it's just like a bee on a flower and another flower and another flower, never
Yeah.
turning back to the first flower, even if you liked it a lot. And yeah, so, and then I was settling with my boyfriend and decided to try to be in couple, to find make a real story. So that also
Where'd you meet your boyfriend?
in Paris.
In
He
Paris?
was,
And is this still your?
yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how long have you been together?
18 years again.
18 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
congrats on finding something long lasting.
Thank you, but you know, it's difficult because COVID wasn't easy for me here. Anyway, yeah, but I'm still hoping it'll carry on.
So, back to the little time scale. So you said you're in Paris for 18 years, and then you went to Normandy.
Yeah, for a weekend, and
then
then
you
we
decided to live there?
realized we wanted a life out of the big city. You know?
Gotcha.
We wanted, yeah, to be more closer to the countryside. I mean, in Paris, if you want to go to the countryside, you have to drive first 2 hours in, the banlieue, the buildings, the bad neighborhoods, and
To get through the suburbs and
yeah,
everything else.
yeah,
To
and then
to
drive
rural
and
France.
drive more. And then the countryside of the region of Paris, it's all flat. I mean, it's flat, completely flat. You don't
There's
have
the Alps though at some point.
no Paris. I mean Paris.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
The
just
area
thinking.
of Paris is flat,
Yeah.
completely flat. It's a plain, so it's not beautiful to see. You don't get to see far. I mean, it's flat. Like Puglia, it's flat.
Nemmeno ste cose
Is it by a big river?
Yeah, it is.
Little tangent here, but I'm just sort of curious. I'm sure maybe you have an answer to this. Like, why was Paris built where Paris is?
Well, because first Paris was built on an island on the Seine River. So it was where you have the cathedral now. So that was the first city of Paris. And that was in Roman times, early Roman times. And then it expanded on the...
Come va?
Andiamo in India.
So I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, she's just.
Yeah.
Questa è bella, Mario.
And then Paris expanded along the river.
What's that?
E da quanti anni sei in Italia?
Oh, sorry. I'm not smoking, I'm just pretending.
6 anni.
Mi dispiace. How do you say it? Mi dispiace?
Mi dispiace.
Mi dispiace. It's the pronunciation that gets me nervous.
Yeah.
Because you can look up the word mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. Boom. Try to.
Yeah, it's very different from English.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Quale parte della Germania?
But then Italian is an easy language. I mean, you don't have sounds that you don't have in
You
your
don't have to
language.
stand right here.
Ci sei stato?
You don't have to stand right here.
Bellissima quella festa. C'è questa festa.
There's so much judgment.
A mezzanotte ogni 100
Even at that early age.
certo. Mostra sol, fang.
I haven't smoked in like a month and 2 weeks.
Calabrese.
Isn't that amazing?
Io parlavo con i ristoranti in Italia ed erano proprio della Calabria quei ragazzi. Poi c'era la cover di Sant'Anna. No, era bellissima.
Se non
Do you want a
vuoi essere
microphone?
nel fumo,
Do you want a
non stare
microphone?
qui,
Do you want to say
bambina.
something? No.
No.
Ma ve la posso chiedere pure io una sigaretta?
Ma sì, te la faccio?
Perché io non le so neanche fare.
Beh, la faccio io. Non c'è problema.
Grazie.
Prego.
El
No, Maria
pueblo
is not gonna be
unito,
happy.
caramerencito. Lui non la sa. El pueblo unito.
Is that a song about smoking?
No, it's a song about
Politically.
revolution or liberation.
Revolution.
I see.
Is it a Spanish song or Mexican?
No, 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 no. Se non sbaglio, chi la cantava il club unito, cavarsito?
È della Spagna o Messico? O...
Forse messicano.
But so the location of Paris during Roman times, it was established during Roman times. That's how old the
No,
location
there was
is?
already a little city there. There was a people called the Parisi in Latin, and that gave the name of the city because first it was called Lutetia. Eccola.
Merci beaucoup.
Mais de rien, c'est un plaisir. So, yeah.
Io non le so fare.
Io le so fare
Le
benissimo.
mie sembrano canne.
Sì, io sono abituato.
No, io no.
Da 20
You
anni
got
che
you
le
got a
faccio.
chimney over here. It's a 3.
Yeah.
Luis,
Wrong time for her.
non arriva
bad.
Luis. Ah, sì, sì.
Go away. I
No,
don't
ma
know.
io non
I feel
dovevo
bad.
parlare.
I literally I haven't smoked in
No,
like
no,
a month and 2 days. I was
torna a
smoking
fare.
all last winter, and I'm like, I'm gonna give it a break for a while. But
So
I don't
your
know.
head's spinning now a little bit.
What's that?
Your head's spinning a little bit.
Nicotine is nice.
It happens to me as well when I quit for a few days.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what did you want to know about Paris? How
to
it
me,
started?
To me, it seems like it seems obvious, like cities on a coast, right? So like Naples or Rome, like okay, yeah, because
Or on streams.
so that's what I was getting to, right? Because it seems like most major cities established all around the world are by some waterway,
Yeah.
because that's commerce, right? And that's still
And the water to
cheapest.
drink.
Sure, but if you're by sea, if you're by the sea, that doesn't.
Yeah.
I think it's more in terms of like commerce and connecting, and that's
No, the sea is more to get food from the sea.
okay, sure, but no, like commerce, like in trade, and that's how
Yeah,
cities
that
really.
comes after. But you're right. I mean, in prehistory, people used to settle on the shores because they could easily get food, or the shells, or the fish. That's easy to catch.
Mm-hmm.
And then they invented boats to go a bit further on the sea to catch bigger fish.
Yeah.
And eventually, but I think commerce started more on roads than with maritime roads.
Okay. So Paris, is it on a major waterway that leads
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
North Sea or to the Atlantic?
It leads to the Netherlands.
To the Netherlands and
No,
then
no, sorry, to Normandy.
okay.
Normandy.
Yeah, and then out to the that's the
To
Atlantic or the North
the
Sea?
Channel.
It's right into the channel. It's
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so how did I'm just curious, like how did Paris grow into a giant city into
Well, the Romans came. At first, it was a little village on the island, on the stream, and with fishermen there. Ciao, ci vediamo. Ciao. And when the Romans came, they built bridges to link the island to both sides of the stream, and they started to expand. I mean, for agriculture, living, and then they started to build like the bath and theater, and what they built everywhere. And it started to bring people, agglomerate people, and it started to be a big city. And after maybe 2,000 years, they built the first walls around the city. and I think the last walls that were built were in the 18th century, and then we got rid of them maybe 150 years ago to open the boulevard. So actually where the walls were, you have these large boulevards that are very famous.
What's a boulevard?
It's an avenue.
Okay. Oh, boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's the difference? Boulevard.
I didn't. It was your accent. I didn't know if
Yeah.
it was a different word. But okay, that's interesting. So going back, it's just you're meeting a lot of people and it was great, but just wasn't very meaningful. It didn't seem like, and you wanted that meaning.
Yeah.
So you wanted to go to a place that maybe had a.
I wanted to be closer to the countryside, the green, and see the seasons passing. I mean, leaves falling from the trees, and then the green coming back, and then the flowers. I mean, in Paris, you have these buildings that are not very high, but I mean, you just see a small section of the sky, and it's always gray and raining. So
You wanted to connect with nature a little bit more.
yeah, I
You
wanted to have
life to be a little bit slower.
opening my window and see some land, a mountain, some green, a stream, something, have a view, a panorama. I didn't have a panorama eventually when I went in Alsace, but I have a nice view on the mountains, and I was 5 minutes to the countryside and the forest, and I could go anytime, find mushrooms, and go fetch my food by a farmer. So it was a good life. And but we came on holiday here because Francesco's Calabrian. So yeah, every year we came here on holidays. We traveled a lot in Calabria, Italy, Sicily. And eventually we decided to leave France because I mean, even in a small city, the life is kind of hectic. I mean, you have to work to pay for the car, you have to work to pay for the gas for the car, and it's a system. And the food was better than in Paris, but still in France you can't find fruits that are ripe. A tomato.
You can or can't?
Huh?
You can or can't?
You can't.
Okay.
I mean,
nothing's right.
Yeah.
I guess it's typical for any city. It comes in from
it's typical for the Western world. I mean, but when we came here on holiday in summer,
specifically to Bisignano, or no?
No, in
Badolato.
Calabria or Italy. Any place in Italy, you eat well. I mean, you go in a place that looks like shit. You have an old lady making recipes from her grandma with products from 10 kilometers around that are wonderful. Mm-hmm. Fruits are ripe, vegetables are fantastic. Often they're biologic. It's
organic. We say in the States.
Yeah. And the first time we came here on holiday in the summer, well, the first peach I bought, it was...
Ciao.
Buonasera.
No, sto curiosando.
Sì, è fatto per questo. C'è da vedere. Grazie, signore. And it was I don't know, many years I didn't buy a peach in France because they are just hard as a rock, with no taste. And tomatoes with no taste, and here it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything's, any kind of food is fantastic here. So, liking
just Calabria in general, or southern Italy, just Italy.
Italy, yeah. They have this tradition of cooking and with good products from not far around, and with very simple recipes. I mean, you have 5 ingredients, you can make, I don't know, 15 different recipes with the same 5 ingredients. It's amazing. And in France we have gastronomy with you have like 20 ingredients in a plate, and then on your plate you have just a
small morsel.
Yeah. Who tastes wonderful, but then.
Ci vediamo domani, no?
So yeah.
You will pick up your certificate on
So
and then the weather as well. I mean, in France, the least you can expect is 6 months of rain or snow if the year is still cold enough. But, yeah, mostly the snow's gone now. But yeah, it's raining, it's grey. You can't even see the sky for weeks. I mean, end of last year, I went there for 2 or 3 months. I saw a blue sky, a piece of blue sky, maybe for a week. That's all. The rest of the time it was just grey, like nuclear grey. I mean, there was a nuclear war and you can't see the sky anymore.
Nuclear fallout, yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. And rain, cold for months. Here, I mean, in January, it is cold. It's colder than in summer, but I mean, you don't
What's
have...
cold?
Cold?
Yeah, well, like degree-wise, what are we talking?
Well, cold here is 10 degrees, it's cold. Then it happens that it snows here on the mountains, and then everybody rushes to the mountains to make pictures and Instagram and Facebook.
And in these mountains it
Yeah,
snows?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
It lasts for a day, 2 days, 3 days, and then it's gone. But upper north, there's a mountain, La Sila, who's like 3,000 meters high, and then you can ski there.
Really?
Yeah,
Do they have a resort? Or
yeah,
There's a ski resort
Yeah.
in Calabria?
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long are they open?
I don't know, maybe 2 months a year.
Wow, so I mean, it's
Yeah.
some business.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. And then you take your car, and an hour later you are on the shore. It's fantastic.
Wow.
You're going with your car?
So yeah, I mean,
Because I don't know where I'm going.
yeah, the mountains, the sea, the food, the sky,
I think maybe
the
we
good
go
weather,
to the beach
nice
and
people,
you know.
traditions.
The dance class around.
So, at this point, you're still just traveling in Calabria and southern Italy and all of Italy, it sounded like.
Yeah.
And so, how long was this period of traveling and sort of information gathering?
More or less 8 years.
Wow.
Well, the idea of coming, we had it for a long time. But then it's difficult to imagine how you could make a life, especially for me. I mean, for my boyfriend, he's Italian, he's a professor, so it would be easier for him to work here. But for me, it would be difficult. So,
Because after the financial crisis, so you weren't doing set design. What did you?
well, I
pivot
was
to?
doing just elementary jobs, like how is it called? You know, calling people for inquiries about stuff, about Coke, about Sprite, about this kind of. And then the last years I was there, I was working for a good friend of mine who had a company of renting cars. So I drove the cars from her place to different cities in France, and then coming back, and the pay was great, and the hours were I could organize my work, and that was cool. There was the 2 last years were were good. But then my boyfriend had his mother got sick. She got a cancer in her throat. So the Italian tradition is the family gathers and takes care of their own, and so he decided to go back. And because in Calabria to get good treatment it's difficult, so they had to bring her in northern Italy, in Milan. So these travels, the sister was working, so he decided to move earlier. And then I spent 6 more months in France until I could settle everything with the flat and things. And I came back. I came here 6 months later. But in between the years we were traveling in Calabria, I gathered a few pieces of driftwood on the beaches. I mean, I always liked driftwood. Never thought of doing something with them. Ciao, ciao, ci vediamo. And so I brought some home in France, and they were just sitting there. And after 2 years, I told myself, well, I have to do something with this driftwood. They're so beautiful. I'll make a lamp. And eventually, with the driftwood I had, I could make eight lamps.
That idea just came to you, or you saw something?
No, the idea, I had the idea at the beginning, but then I didn't have a lot. Well, it didn't seem to me to be a lot. And I thought, yeah, maybe I should bring more to have more choices and of sizes and forms, and so I didn't touch them for 2 years. So eventually, when I decided to do something with them, and 8 lamps came out of it, I told myself, oh, interesting. And my mother was already doing ceramics, and she used to go on exhibitions here and there in the villages, and so I started that with her, and then made a Christmas market, and then people liked a lot what I did, and from that point, each time we came here, I brought a lot of wood back in France, and I started to make lamps.
You peacing? Are you gonna be back here tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just live behind this restaurant. It's food time for me. I haven't had any dinner. I came out like 3 hours ago to buy a bottle of wine. I've been hanging out the whole time.
That's how it is. Yeah, let's link up tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
See you around.
Did I get?
No, I'll be here tomorrow.
Well, I don't like to. I inadvertently carried around my notepad. Here's a pen. I'll just add everybody at the same time.
Ah, so that's an easy way to do it. I like the notepad method. You got grid paper going on?
Yeah.
Do you sketch? Do you draw? What's your thing? You're a drawer?
I mean, I'm an industrial designer, so I mean,
Okay.
I draw everything. Your number, so I have a physical number on there.
If you
Just in
insist. If you insist.
In case of a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Sometimes digital things don't go through. So.
Yeah.
I feel. Look at that.
Awesome.
Badolato.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys. Have a
See
good night.
you. Have a nice
Have a good one.
Ciao.
But so where did you first sell them? You were in France?
Well, with my mother's exhibitions. And then
She
Christmas
has
markets.
expeditions that she does with her ceramics?
Yeah, she does.
Oh,
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. And yeah, so I started to bring more wood in France in the summer when we came on holiday. So it lasted from 15 to 18, I think. And eventually maybe for 2 years, and it worked really well. At the time I was doing only lamps. And then when I moved here, I mean for the tourists I started to make
When did you move here?
in 18.
Okay.
In
6 years ago.
June 18, yeah, so that's 6 years now. And I started to make other things for tourists, like the little reefs with the fish and different kind of sea creatures, and the boats and
The little angel ornaments.
yeah. And the latest are the flowers.
The flowers with the.
Yeah.
And you do those with your mom, with her ceramics, or?
Yeah, just once she gave me a few flowers she didn't use, and so that I could use them.
Came to fruition.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But it was already in my mind for a while to make these flowers on wood, but it takes a lot of time. I was doing the other things, making enough for the season, and and then COVID hit, and it was a very bad year for me. I mean, I was literally at home for a year, maybe not a year, but several months, because we couldn't go out, even not.
It was crazy here in Italy.
I mean,
every place treated it differently.
It started in Italy, and they took it really well. It started in China, but then in Europe, Italy was the first country hit, and they took it really seriously immediately after maybe 1 or 2 weeks. So the lockdown was a real lockdown, and we couldn't go out except to.
Because like the police would be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting groceries.
Yeah, I remember when I used to go for errands, I should fill a paper and have it with me, saying I'm on this day I'm going out to make errands here and there, and then at this time of day going back at this time, and so every time you wanted to go out, you had to fill a new paper, and then. There was a retirement home somewhere, got infected by a nurse who made something stupid, I can't remember why.
In southern Italy, Calabria?
Yeah, in Calabria, in Guardavalle, I think, or Chiaravalle. And so all the residents were infected, a lot of them died, and then the people taking care of them couldn't go in anymore because they were all infected, and it was a big story. And so the lockdown was that you couldn't go out of your town. So you couldn't go in another town, even to make errands. I was in Soverato, I couldn't go out of Soverato. So I had to make my errands in Soverato. I used to go in someplace else.
So
it
you
wasn't
were,
possible.
The two of you were living in Soverato?
Yeah.
You had a place there?
Yeah, at the time, yeah. It was very difficult to find something nice. It wasn't really nice, but, well, it was nice enough. And, I couldn't even go on the beach all by myself with no one. It was forbidden. So even to fetch my wood, it wasn't possible.
So fucking ridiculous.
So and of course I couldn't go in the summer to sell because le bancarelle were gone. I mean, every village at the time I was touring the villages, the different feasts of the patron of the cities, and the feast of the different fruits and products, and everything was cancelled in the province for the whole year. So there was no possibility for me to do anything, to earn any money. So beginning of 21, I was at the end of my rope. Really, I had like 1,000 euros left.
The end of 2020 or 2021? So this is a 2-year period?
End of 20,
How's it going?
beginning of 21. I was really at the end of my rope, so I cancelled my bank accounts. I took a online bank that cost nothing, and I cancelled everything that I could cancel. I stopped smoking, and to be able to afford to live a few more months. And eventually, just at this moment, Francesco found this place here in Badolato that was very nice. We were looking for 3 years already, and we didn't find anything that was nice enough.
Because you're in the marina, right? Or you're in the
but already on the way to the village, so a bit outside of the center, in the green, with foxes, wild boars, owls, and all kind of animals. And so we moved early 21, and we already knew the place, but we just visited once because it was known to be a nice village with some restaurants, a bit of life in it, which are maybe 2 villages like this on this coast among this one. And so we moved here and we met the people, and life started to be better.
Yeah.
So I started to make things for tourists, and not only the lamps, to have also
Some variety.
some variety in things and in prices. Because obviously the lamps are
a bit more expensive. So the lamp, I'm looking here, like 85 euros.
Yeah, it's between 70 and 90 depending on the work. And,
For a nice lamp, and then the little things are like 15, 20, 35. Yeah, so you've got a good range.
Yeah. It starts at 10, a little boat, a flower, and until 35 for the larger fish, and then I have larger things that cost more, but I start to sell the small ones.
Yeah, like
Because
you
I have
don't
plenty.
need to put them out
I
here.
have plenty. I
Sure.
made like, I think I have close to 100 of the fish.
That's awesome. Is there anything that we were talking last time, like the new type of lamp where it's just like a circular frame and then like the piece of wood in front of it?
Yeah,
But like, do you have any other ideas?
I'm still working on it. I had a hard time to find the interrupters. That's
Oh, the cable, the switch.
the switch. It was impossible to find the switch. Actually, I found switches, and I came home, and I found switches with only one hole on one side. So I don't know what's the point of that. So, and
Okay.
eventually in a small shop here in Badolato, I found the switches of my dream.
Oh,
And I went to Lamezia, to Soverato, all the big shops, and I didn't find any. So I should have stayed here and just asked.
that's hilarious.
So I'm still working on the electrical part.
Component, yeah.
And then when that's done, I'll start to make the lamps. I'm already a bit late. I was expecting to start to work on the lamps 2 weeks ago. So, because I don't have a lot already ready for the season, so I have to make a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a good task.
Yeah.
And I love what are the bases made out of again?
It's plaster.
Plaster.
Yeah.
So no plastic wherever possible.
No. The pigments
long-lasting
are
materials.
natural pigments for coloring the plaster. And everything is...
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. I thought they were all just the
No.
gray, but yeah, this one's a little bit
Yeah,
pink.
I put pigments in it.
Oh, wow.
Depending, yeah, to yeah,
So awesome.
depending on the wood I'm using.
I wish I could buy one and like ship it back to my parents. Probably could, but I don't know if it would make the...
Well, I sent some already in France, but then traveling to the States, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe with a more robust package.
Yeah.
Maybe a package in a package. That would work.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I mean, yeah.
But then the package would cost, I think, twice as the lamp.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
For
thinking
sure.
too. So it's sort of this weird thing, but
Right.
But I mean, yeah, just so beautiful. Like, I mean, I was drawn to it the first time I saw it, but for me, what denotes a good piece of art is you get something more from it, or you get something different from it every time you see it.
Yeah.
I get that from Lorena's artwork, and every time looking at your lamps, I'm like, I don't know. I just maybe I'm looking at them from the other side now too. But I don't know. There's just a
but
certain quality
you're right,
of it.
You're
that,
right. I often ask myself when I see people passing and just having a glimpse, what do they see? Because there's plenty, and then even if I just had the lamps, it takes time to analyze the form, the composition, and understand it, and then everyone sees something else in animals or
But it's and that might be the thing, right? It's like, you know, you maybe it takes like 2 minutes of looking at it to appreciate 70% of what's there, and you know maybe like hours to appreciate that other 30%, but maybe within those first 2 minutes or that first minute you only get a small percentage of what's there.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly like what the percentage is, but I think you get what I'm coming across. Like that's the tough thing. It's like you look at it, you're like, oh, it's a lamp. You know, like if you just get a glimpse, oh, it's a lamp, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then it just takes a little bit more time to get that from it, which I mean is kind of sort of the difficulty in this like dichotomy of creating art that's meaningful, but then also selling it and then marketing to people. There's this weird...
But I expected people to be more curious, because driftwood is an art that's very uncommon in Italy. I mean, in Northern Europe it's very common since, I don't know, 50 years, since the 70s. I mean, I always knew driftwood art as a child, and it always fascinated me, these pieces of wood, the strange shapes. But then in Italy it's something that's completely unknown. So I expected people to have more curiosity and have a closer look and be more attentive, give more attention to it. But actually, I don't know what's in people's mind.
I think there's and I think you see this a lot too, but just sort of sitting on this side with you and just getting you know, I'm getting the picture, you've got the movie of course, so I'm just getting a little snapshot. But I see there's a good percentage of people that look at it that you can tell they don't care. They don't want to look at it, but they're sort of just doing it, maybe of like a politeness thing, or maybe just like, oh, you know, that's a thing, I'll look at it just to like, it's part of their mask.
Yeah.
I see that from a lot of people. Do you notice that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And then as soon as you say hello or approach them, they kind of escape because I don't know, they feel like you
they don't want
their
you to
money.
sell them. Yeah.
So,
and I don't get that feeling from like, I mean, I've some experience like with street vendors, and there's some people that are very in your
Yeah.
face about selling stuff. I don't get that feeling from you. I don't get that feeling from Rowana. You guys are very.
Actually,
maybe-
I hate selling. I mean, I'm a creative. I like creating, but selling, I'd rather be at home and do more stuff. But
So that's the thing. Like, maybe, you guys would benefit from a little bit more of that salesman part of you. But I'm
Absolutely.
glad. But it's also refreshing that it's just like, come at what you will. But yeah, I mean, that does make it hard to, because you're not pitching anything. You're not.
yeah.
It's just like take it for
Yeah,
what
when
it
I
is.
see
Whatever
someone's
you see.
really interested, it's easy to detect when someone is really interested. He comes closer, he looks a little bit underneath, and then you can start pitching, and that doesn't make them to flee. But yeah, most of the people, the clients, they just flee. Even when I was in the shop, I mean, I saw them. It's a shop selling wine, and I had my things
Right on
inside,
this
yeah.
road.
And I had my things outside, like now, and inside. But I mean, the people, you just saw that they didn't dare to come in. Why? They were just stopping at the window, looking, and but they didn't come in.
I think for me, and maybe this is just a me thing, or maybe this applies to other people, maybe this is a psychological thing, but for me, what makes me interested in the product is knowing greater depth about the person who made it, and then also the process. So for me, hearing about, how you collected the driftwood, I forgot the fucking name, the plaster, knowing that this is plaster, knowing, I get this piece from here, and then, like, I don't know, to me, all those details, which isn't necessarily selling it, it's just like what it is, but knowing sort of the depth of what it is, to me, separates it as something of value. It gives it more value in my mind. And I would assume that that's how other people feel as well. I mean, that's why I think a lot of marketing revolves around telling a story.
Well,
right?
I think most of the people see value in a label or something having a price. Well, I mean, that's consumerism.
Yeah, consumerism.
If it comes out of a shop with a certain label on it, it has value, even if it's just a poor child in Vietnam that made it and that the company bought for €2 and then selling it for 200.
Yeah.
But people don't analyze what they see. And as you said, they look, but they don't see. Because for them it's completely out of the perspective of things that can exist.
Yeah.
It's completely alien to their world.
And I wonder what that is, because I think that we all, as humans, have this innate curiosity of the world.
Yeah.
And so I wonder whether it's just like society has sort of beaten it out of most people, this curiosity of like looking at something and being like, oh, what is this? How did this, what's the story here? What's the history of it?
It needs a certain freedom of mind.
Yeah.
And most people don't have freedom of mind because they have problems. They have to pay for the car, they have to pay the rent, they have to
Everyone's self-absorbed.
full the tank, and
So, are you the place you're staying at? Do you currently own it? Are you renting it? What's
It's
the situation
my
there?
boyfriend's flat.
He owns it.
Yeah. He bought
Very
it.
very cool. That makes, because that's another thing too. Being
So
in a
if we
being in
split,
a renter
I'm homeless. Right. Yeah.
life. Does that put a strain on the relationship?
Well, a little bit. Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Because it's not. Well, I'm just, well, I mean, I don't have a job, I don't have a, you see,
Yeah.
I couldn't pay for a rent or, yeah, it would be very difficult.
Is he very supportive of your work though? Is he supportive of this sort
Yeah,
of
he's not supportive
alternative?
of my way of life.
He's not.
He's, no,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah.
But I mean, from his perspective,
He understands
it's understandable.
it. He
It's
understands
understandable
it.
that if you're
He would like to be more,
profitable, maybe.
more carefree,
Oh,
more
gotcha.
not be bothered with problems as I am.
He himself.
Yeah.
Or you.
No, he.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's not the same as me. I mean, he bothers about problems that are not here yet, that might come in years from now. So
It's the definition of anxiety right there.
yeah. So yeah, it's not like me. I mean, I'm living just the day, maybe the week or the season, let's say. But yeah, not more than that.
I try to get into that frame of mind. I like that frame of mind, and it's interesting because being in that state of, you know, awareness of your mind, I'm like, past shit bothering me, future shit bothering me, and it's like if I sort of separate myself from that, then I'm like, oh, no, it
Yeah,
feels
because
nice. It feels
anyway,
nice right now.
shit happens. I mean, why bother before it happens?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No. I mean, it's good to, or I think it's good to have a plan, or maybe a structure for what you're going to do, because then it makes life easier, maybe. Or maybe it makes life harder, because then you're removing yourself from the moment to be in the future, and then you're never in the moment because you're always in that hamster wheel of what's happening in the future instead of just dealing with the problem when it comes to you.
Well, I had I had some kind of security having a flat in France, being the owner of a flat in France. It was rented until recently.
Did you sell it?
I'm selling it, but it's not sold yet.
Are you still renting it then?
No, it's empty now. So I have to pay every month for it, like the condominium thing, money for the lift.
So why not just stay as the landlord and rent it out?
No,
and have
because
that passive income?
we have these new laws in France. It's a building from the 70s, so we have these new laws that will force the owners to make work, to make the buildings more sustainable with the heating system and things, and that costs.
So if you
then-
kept it, then you would have to
Yeah.
put a bunch of money into
Yeah,
it to
yeah,
keep it.
sooner or later.
So that, I'm
And-
sure that's a problem in trying to sell it as well. As
Yeah,
people
as
are like,
well,
well, now
as
I have
well.
to
Yeah,
put a bunch of capital up
yeah,
front to
yeah.
even keep it.
So until now, I had that money that came every month. It wasn't much. I mean, the state took half of it for taxes and
Half?
so. Yeah, more or less, maybe 40%.
Yeah.
So I had maybe 3,000 left a year. That was for me. So with that and that, it was enough to have to live without buying an iPhone, the last iPhone,
Sure.
or a
Sure.
TV set, or
Living frugally.
yeah. I mean, paying the bills for the heat, the water, a cheap telephone, and food, and gas sometimes. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some clothes
Yeah.
when it's on sale. And that's it. I mean, I don't care to buy anything. I'd rather make it myself, or even if I could grow my food, I would.
Yeah.
I did it the last few years in Paris. I had a friend 100 kilometers from Paris. He had a piece of land. He rented it to me, and I made a garden. How do you say it?
Like a homestead, or just
with
what were you growing
vegetables
there? A
and
vegetable
everything.
garden.
So yeah. If
Was it just an annual garden? Were you growing any perennial crops? What was?
I grew everything, all that I could.
How long were you there?
2 or 3 years, I think. Yeah.
Very cool.
And the soil was a very bad soil, so I had to buy like a ton of sand and then 2 tons of
Compost?
manure
Okay.
from a farm
Sure.
around there, so it didn't cost me. But yeah, and then mix all that and.
So you mixed sand with manure, or what? What
Yeah,
would you
because
do?
the earth was very heavy.
The manure.
No, the ground,
Yeah.
the earth, it was very
it
heavy.
Clay,
Yeah,
clay soil.
yeah, clay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I added sand.
To
Maybe not
make it a little like okay.
all the garden, just the part where I wanted to put the carrots and
Sure. Yeah.
and then manure and black earth that I took in the forests, and yeah. So it took me winter until the soil was ready, and then I planted everything I could. I mean, cabbages, artichokes, peas, fagioli, beans,
Fagioli. Beans. Yeah.
carrots, tomatoes, pumpkins, radishes, everything.
How much of what you ate came from the garden, and how much did you have to buy still?
I think half.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
For only 2 years?
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, there was a lot of failure, especially with the carrots. I think the first year they were that big.
They're just the baby carrots.
Yeah, I think there was too much sand, not enough food for the carrots.
Yeah, not enough organic material.
So the second year was better.
Okay. Very interesting. A little bit about me. I mean, maybe I've talked about this a bit, but my goal is to be completely self-sustainable.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of food, in terms of
And I
eventually everything.
used to have my journal, writing what I was doing and the date and taking photos, and I even
You're very scientific about it.
yeah to understand it. I even took several weeks in different seasons to map the shades of the trees around on the
And understand
on the
all the
square.
microclimates.
Yeah, to understand
It's a little bit
how
cooler, it's a little
long,
bit
how many
warmer.
hours of sun on.
Very cool.
And then with Photoshop, I made the grid and superposed everything to see, and yeah, took me a lot of time, but it was it was fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So I remember, so in winter, no, not in winter, in spring, in summer and fall, I used to come every half an hour to draw where the shades were, and then photoshopping it, and then making the grid and superposing the shades. Yeah, it was fun.
Oh, that's awesome. So a little bit of everything, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You like doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Textiles, art, crafting,
Yeah.
food,
Yeah,
agriculture.
I mean, yeah, more or less like you, being sustainable.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I wasn't very green. I mean, I was green as any any person in a city, in a big city, you can't be green.
Sure.
And I wasn't buying organic, and well, and now it seems normal to me, and I haven't even noticed the transition. It just came.
Wait. The transition of living in Calabria? What do you mean?
Of becoming more aware of everything and trying to be to make the less damages as possible to the planet and being sustainable and yeah, I didn't see the transition.
Yeah. I think it's
just
just it's a
naturally.
process of just being more conscious.
Yeah.
And just from that, you want to know, like, hey, what am I eating?
Yeah.
That's a big question for me. That is a big anxiety for me. It's like there was a period of time I wanted.
In France, I couldn't afford organic products because at the time they cost twice the price. Now it's maybe a little less, but yeah, it wasn't affordable for me at the time, so I kept on buying unripe things, and so I couldn't do better at the time. I was trying already to buy like the chicken from the farm and some vegetables from the farm when I was out of Paris. But in Paris...
Or the 20 kilos of potatoes?
Yeah. And they weren't organic, I can tell you.
No.
Because they were full of a white powder on it. I don't know what that was.
Okay.
To remove some...
On the potato?
On the potatoes, yeah, there was a white powder on it. So it was to avoid some bugs or I don't know.
It doesn't... Interesting, because that would have been in the soil.
Allora, vacanze?
Vacanze no, ancora no.
No.
Scrutini.
Sì, e poi Lido.
Riunioni, poi Lido vacanze.
Lido vacanze. Ciao, ci vediamo. He's a professor at the same school as my boyfriend.
What school is it? Close to here?
It's in Soverato. It's how is it called? L'alberghiero. It's where you learn the food careers.
Culinary studies?
Yeah.
Or food meaning like preparing
yeah, I mean
food
cooking, waiting,
okay,
all that kind.
Probably like culinary school.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
That.
Yeah. Alberghiero.
Alberghiero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Albergo means hotel in Italian.
Okay.
So
like hotel some
hotel school.
Hotel school.
In French, it's école hôtelière. So it's school. It's the same.
Okay.
Alberghiero.
Okay.
And he's teaching waiting, I think. And my boyfriend's teaching French.
So he's here studying a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse to go out, isn't it?
His family.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So do you have, I mean, we were just talking about like living for the day, which I think is very important. But
yeah,
it's interesting to think too, do you foresee a certain future for yourself? Are you open to whatever comes, or are you happy with this daily routine you're in?
Yeah, it's the best I've ever lived. I mean, I live just to bring some beauty in the world, and not harming the planet with my work and my production, and using safe products, and bringing some poetry in the world, and and just being happy, enjoying my days, enjoying the sky, the mountains, the green, that's life. I mean, it's been It's been like that for a few 100,000 years, and I think what we've invented in the 20th century is not better at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it brings us to our destruction, there's no way.
Hello.
Okay, let's have a cigarette.